everybody? Welcome to my channel. You too can be great. This is the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 12 episode 26 reunion part 3. Let me just adjust this real quick, my camera, so y'all can see me clearly. I hope that helps. Now I'm so glad they finally finished this entire review. Reunion, because now I can really, everything comes full circle. But before I do, I want y'all to go ahead and check out my new book that I published on Amazon called Just Add Pepper by A.S. Blaine. I'm gonna put the instructions below on the little commentary so you can go and check it out. I will show you the copy, but one of my friends took it. She said, as soon as she invited me to her birthday party, I had the book in my purse. She saw it, read the back, and she was like, "Where'd you get this from?" I said, "Amazon." She goes, "Oh, is it good?" I said, "Well, I wrote it." And so she took my copy, so I have to find the second one. Until I do, I'm just going to be using my words to let y'all know. Check it out. So far, I've heard some good things about it. Hopefully, you enjoy it too. Now, let's get into this review, right? So, the reunion, part 3, started off with Nene leaving. Y'all remember last episode, Nene left. She got up and she left. And I'm thinking, why the hell did she leave? You know, you're arguing with Kenya. You're arguing with Kenya mostly. She wasn't really arguing with anybody else on the show. You're arguing with Candy, right? Because Candy said, you know, I'm embedded in your motherfucking brain, bitch. We saw that. And I thought that maybe that was one of the reasons why Nene up and left. But we find out from Eva that Yavana had gone online and posted 20 minutes prior to Nene leaving, I think, saying that she was about to come and tell the truth. And it looks like maybe Nene got the same information and she got up and she left, because here we know that we're going to have to deal with Yavana. But everybody's sitting there thinking, well, I'm thinking, why the hell did she leave? You know, they didn't kick her off. Why would Nene leave in this particular moment? Because the reunion is for you to clear shit up. And she left, and it makes her look extremely suspect. I'm actually looking at her sideways like, why would you leave when I need you to be here to, you know, give us some explanations of some of the shit we saw on the show? Like, this is your chance to talk in front of everybody outside of the confessional. Y'all done seen everything. This is the opportunity to clear whatever issues you feel like may come up. Here's your chance. And she left, and I was very, very disappointed about that. I was pissed off because I don't think it was right. I thought she was going to be gone and then come back, but she literally was gone the whole part 3, and I thought that was pissed. Maybe they should just take her check for that reunion, because that was too much. I don't know what her contract said, but that was too much. Then they said that Nene had also sent, I think, one of the producers a text message saying that she didn't put her laptop outside the house because she's not going to show up. Even if you're not going to show up, why would your laptop be? I don't think she really did that, y'all. Did she really take her laptop outside because she don't want to sit up here and deal with this shit? Whatever. Now, they start off by talking about Nene and Kenya's relationship because they want to kind of go through what happened this season. Obviously, Nene's not here to, you know, say something. So all we know is Kenya's talking. And of course, we know what Kenya sides. Kenya doesn't like Nene, so anything that she says is going to be bad. Eva doesn't like Nene, so everything that Kenya says, she's going to prove. Cynthia and Nene are not on the best terms, so there's a lot of things that she's not going to agree with that Nene does wrong. Porsha and Marlo and Tanya are pretty much the only ones who are out here sticking up for Nene because they're still cool with her. But they show everything from Nene is trying to establish an olive branch to Kenya. Cynthia actually came out saying that before the season had started filming, Nene had texted Cynthia or talked to Cynthia, and she wanted to have a conversation with Kenya privately or in person before the show because she's trying to make amends with everybody. And I think it's probably because that's what her life coach told her to do. But when Nene tried to establish that olive branch to Kenya refused. And I feel like that bothered Nene to where she said, fuck Kenya, because if you're not going to take my apology, we're not going to be friends. The problem with that is Nene needs to understand that if you're trying to make amends with somebody and the person doesn't want to fuck with you or deal with you, you need to give that person the time they need to get over the situation. And if they don't want to deal with you in that moment, telling them fuck you, hurling spitballs at that person, them are fighting words. That's what you do when you don't want to, you know, fix things with people. And on top of that, when Kenya was going through her divorce with Mark, granted, I have to admit, Kenya kind of sunk herself and shot herself in the foot in this particular situation, because to me, I thought it was karma. Kenya had a lot to say about Apollo going to prison when it was Frazier going through the divorce. She had a lot to say with the bullhorn to Porsha when it was her and Cordell going through the divorce. She has had a lot to say about people's relationship with Kim Fields. She called her husband gay. All these things that she said with people who are in relationships. She's been very disrespectful. And even her and Peter got into it when Peter was still married to Cynthia. And Peter said she would just get her ass up and twirl. So she's had a lot of negative things to say about people in their relationship when it wasn't her. This is something that we know. This is something that Marla knows. It's something that Nene knows. So now when Mark and Kenya are going through the divorce, and Candy asked Nene and everybody else in the group to be sensitive to her situation, it was just almost unreasonable to think that that's what they're going to do, because that's not what they've experienced from her. Nene initially told Kenya, you know, I really wish you the best. I hope y'all figure it out, when it went on live on Instagram and on social media that her and Mark were getting divorced. Then they cut the scene to when they're fighting, and Nene threw that shit back in her face. So I can understand why Kenya wasn't ready to accept Nene's olive branch, because it didn't seem sincere. If you're really genuinely wanting to move forward, you won't be using this in this particular moment to get me back for all the things I've done. Even if I feel like she deserved to hear the same thing she told other people when it was them going through pain, Nene being the one that wants to get close to her, that wasn't the right move. And on top of that, Kenya was right. If somebody tries to hurl spit at me or try to throw something at me, it's going to be a problem. I would have a whole problem with you. The only people I have patience for to do behaviors are family members. If you're not my family, you want to hurl spit at me, you're my enemy, and we're going to have a problem, and you better be prepared to square up, because you're not about to spit on me, period. And that was absolutely right. Now, they move forward with talking about Kenya's relationship with Cynthia, right? And what they did was, because Bravo's so shady, right? They talk about how Kenya says that she's the best friend that Cynthia has ever had, right? And then during this conversation, they kind of show little scenes. They show, after they say Kenya is the best friend Cynthia had, they show Kenya shading her closet, saying that she needs somebody to fix her closet. They show Kenya ruining Cynthia's engagement, and show Candy on the confessional talking about bitch, because she was a bitch for doing it. Then they show Kenya kind of shading the fact that Cynthia is now paying attention to Eva, because at the time Eva wasn't close to Kenya as she is now. They also show Kenya this in Cynthia and Nene's relationship, because Kenya, I think, is territorial. She wants Cynthia to be her bestie. She wants Cynthia to be friends with her, and she does not want Nene to be in Cynthia's life because it's a conflict of interest. Do I agree that Kenya is a little bit jealous of Cynthia being friends with other people? Yes, especially when she feels like it's a competition. Kenya happens to be very territorial about people that she cares about, even though she also does some shady shit to them. They also talk about how Kenya was picking at her at that wine cellar as well, bringing to light that she don't really know what's going on. Then, of course, Andy starts asking her questions like, if you're basically talking about how you're Cynthia's friend, why is it that you don't take responsibility for the things that you do to her? And Kenya spins that whole engagement situation and says that, oh, Cynthia had been talking to her this whole time about how she wants to get married, and how she knows that Mike Hill's gonna propose to her. That's why when she showed up to the party, she felt it in her spirit to tell Cynthia that, oh, Mike is gonna propose to you today. I feel like that is complete bullshit. Okay? When you're friends with somebody, even in my relationship, I had many times when I told my friends, we're talking about marriage, I think he's going to ask me to marry me, but there is no way that my man will go up to my friends and say, hey, I think I'm going to do it today. And regardless of how many times I've said it, my friend's going to come to me that exact day, a matter of minutes before he asks me, to give me a warning about it, to ruin the surprise. Kenya did not want to take responsibility for what she did in that environment. She didn't. And Cynthia called her out again with the wine cellar situation, where she kept making it look like she was dumb. And Kenya did what she's always done, doesn't want to take responsibility immediately unless somebody calls her out. This is how a commenter said that Nene and Kenya are exactly the same, and that Cynthia may have something within herself where she attracts ancient friends. I agree. Why? Because for one, Kenya did not want to admit, even when Mark and her were talking about it, Mark said, you fucked up that girl's engagement, and Kenya tiptoed around it. It was wrong what she did. And Kenya is still today covering her ass with what she did. You try to ruin that girl's engagement party. Why don't you tell her you're sorry, because you had just been going through shit with your man and hurt people, and you just weren't in your right mind and you were jealous of her happiness. Be honest with yourself. This is the problem with Kenya and Nene. I don't know. I think Nene and Kenya don't like each other because they're just the same. Nene does not take responsibility for anything unless you put her back in the wall and you keep pointing at it. And she'll divert the attention to something else. Well, are you going to get people? Because when Andy was going after Kenya and trying to check her to get her to admit she was wrong, Kenya said, well, what about when this person did this to me? Why aren't you asking? No, girl, we're asking you about you. Pay attention to yourself. That's the part that pisses me off about Kenya. She takes no responsibility for anything, right? Unless you force her to. Then they bring up the cookie lady situation. And Porsha basically brings up the fact that Kenya did throw Cynthia under the bus with the cookie lady situation when they were sitting down across from Kenya, and Cynthia had invited the cookie lady to come to the house, right? To come to the to come to the Brooklyn's party and disclose to Kenya face to face everything that Paul apparently has said to her. And Kenya threw that out there when she thought that Cynthia stabbed her in the back. Now here's the thing with Kenya. Kenya is your friend, but if she was being questioned by the FBI, right? And the FBI tells her, look, this friend you're protecting did this, this, and this. Kenya will fold in an instant and snitch. Completely snitch. And then Cynthia didn't want to take responsibility to the fact that the whole situation with Kenya was also her fault. That she was foul because she invited Tanya's so-called fiance, forever fiancés, maybe possible flirting type side chick to Brooklyn's party without telling Tanya that this person come to ambush her. And Candy said what I said. It is equally as dangerous for Cynthia to have done that invite as much as Kenya to invite the cookie lady to be in front of Tanya's face. They were both ambush situations. But Tanya doesn't like Kenya, so of course Tanya would say, I respect Cynthia, and they ignore the fact that what Cynthia did was also foul. Then Cynthia says, well, what makes you think I wasn't going to call Tanya and tell her the cookie lady was coming? Girl, bye. You weren't going to call that girl. Stop lying. Then, the next thing I'm going to talk about is, they talk about Kenya approaching Nene at Candy's baby shower. And basically, at the end of the show, y'all saw that Kenya and Nene had a blowout because they were going to get into an actual fight argument. It was the extension of what happened prior when they were fighting and Nene tried to spit on Kenya, right? And Kenya says that she was not trying to provoke people. Girl, and she follows it up by saying, I don't provoke people. She is in complete denial. You are a full-blown, bona fide instigator, Kenya. This is why you're entertaining for Bravo, because you know exactly how to poke the bear and get us the entertainment and the drama that we need. This is what you're good at. You sit up here lying, say you don't provoke nobody. Girl, bye. You don't provoke your baby. That's it. Everybody else you provoke. That's just what it is. And Andy, in this case, kept going after Kenya again, basically trying to force her to take responsibility for everything that she's doing, including Marlo mentioning the bullhorn with Porsha, the chair that she pulled out with Kim Fields, when Kim Fields didn't do none of that, girl. Then Eva's dumbass and Cynthia jumped on the bandwagon saying, well, in this particular situation with Kenya pretending to approach Shamia and then end up in an argument with Nene, she was not trying to provoke Nene. Just in that one incident, she wasn't trying to. But in other incidents in the past, that's what she's been doing. She provokes, just not this one. That shit don't even make no damn sense. Y'all just stop. Clearly, there's a clique. We got Kenya, Eva, and Cynthia on one corner. We got Marlo, Tanya, and Porsha on the other corner. Marlo, Tanya, and Porsha are for Nene. Cynthia and Eva and soon to be Yavana are now on Kenya's side. That's what that was. Then we got Porsha decides to chime in saying that Kenya wanted to provoke Nene when she did that because she saw it. And because Kenya had said everybody at that party saw me, I wasn't trying to provoke. Lie. Porsha said we saw you and yet you were trying to provoke. And as Porsha's trying to speak, Kenya's trying to interrupt her. So Porsha said something I thought was funny. She said Kenya had her 45 minutes of Color Purple monologue moment. She said, I'm going to speak whether you like it or not. And she has every right to because Kenya wasn't taking responsibility for nothing. It was like, because Nene left the reunion, the next person who caused a lot of drama that you could focus on was Kenya. I think that if Nene was there, Andy would also attack Kenya as well, Nene as well, and hold her to the cross and make her responsible for some of the shit that she did. But Nene left right before Yavana was going to come on the show. And that brings me to my next topic, because Yavana joins everybody because of the Snakegate recording. Y'all remember the Snakegate? Nene went up to Candy, told Candy that Cynthia was talking shit because she wanted 50 Cent to pop out of Cynthia for everybody to see that Cynthia has two sides to her. She went to Candy and said that somebody recorded her and it was her talking shit. Candy took it to Cynthia. Cynthia ran around trying to figure out who it was. She asked Marlo. Marlo said it wasn't her. Eva accused Marlo. Marlo said it wasn't her. Marlo and Cynthia got to the point where they're cussing each other out at the hotel. Yavana decided to bring up Dennis, and Porsha almost tried to whoop her ass. Then Nene throws Yavana on the under the bus, saying that it was basically her that was a snake gate for the whole thing. While Cynthia and Nene are trying to have a conversation in the hotel, and Cynthia wants to know what Nene did. Nene's walking away. Kenya jumps in because she's threatened by Nene and Cynthia fixing things and mending things. She decided that she wanted to pick a fight. They did ask Cynthia, because Marla asked Cynthia if Kenya was not around, will her and Nene still be friends? Cynthia said what I've always said. Their friendship would never be the same. There's too much damage being done. There's too much shit going back and forth. Even if they're cordial, they'll never be that close because the trust has been breached. However, Kenya doesn't even want Nene around Cynthia, period, because she don't want her friend be taken from her. And she's threatened that if Nene comes around, Cynthia might actually be nice to Nene because of their history, because that's how Cynthia is. She's wishy-washy. She never stays one place. Then they bring Yavana, right? And they ask Yavana to go ahead and let us know what's been going on. Yavana joined the square for this 5 minutes of fame. 5 minutes of fame, because everything that came out of her mouth to me was, she had some that made sense and some that was just full of shit. Let me tell y'all what she said. She said that Nene has been sending her a lot of cease and desist, do not speak. Nene has had several phone calls calling her, threatening her. And she also said apparently that Nene also called her from a bunch of blocked numbers. I don't think Yavana is that significant in Nene's life for her to be that pressed. All she got to do is have a lawyer send her a cease and desist and call it a day. But then, instead, Yavana continues saying that the reason why Nene wanted her to do all that, and that's after her lawyer, Mike Sterling. Mike Sterling is Eva's husband. I thought Eva and Yavana from Clark, that bitch from Clark, didn't get along. But here it is, because Eva don't like Nene. Her husband is now representing Yavana against Nene. This shady bunch, I can't. Because apparently, Mike Sterling basically sent Nene a response to her cease and desist, basically having Yavana's back as her lawyer, because Mike has his own private practice. Then Yavana admits that Nene sent her into the girls, like into the group, before she started making amends, to listen to all what the girls had to say, and she agreed to record their conversations to basically come back and snitch to Nene what everybody's saying behind her back. And Yavana's sitting up there as she's saying to us that she agreed to this bullshit. Somebody, you're a grown-ass woman. Somebody comes up to you and says, hey, go in this group of friends group of people, my coworkers that I'm supposed to be working with. Go and have conversations with them. When they talk, record it, and then come back and send it and tell me all about it and have me listen to it so I can catch them basically talking shit when I don't get along with them. And Yavana's dumbass is basically telling us that she agreed to do this nonsense, but it's not in her character. I'm confused. You said yes, but it's not in your character? Girl, you said yes. And you actually did. You didn't record Cynthia physically, but you had a conversation with her, and you went back to Nene on the show and made it seem like Cynthia was just talking so much shit about her, knowing that Cynthia and Nene are in a bad space. They've been friends for years. They're having a hard time. You did that because your ass wanted to be on the show. You wanted to have something to say, and you thought Nene was going to be your ticket in the show. And to do that, you were willing to be messy and to get down and dirty to get whatever check you feel like you want to get for the show. And this is how you felt like you were getting to it. I told you I didn't trust that girl from the beginning. I still don't trust the ass. Then Marlo calls out Yavana, saying that Nene called her, and Yavana admitted to having the recording, but she really didn't. Then Porsha said that Yavana turns her attention to Porsha, saying, Porsha, I don't think that you need to be careful which side you're on, because Nene sent me your number too and told me to call you and record you to see what you say about her. Everything that Yavana was saying, I felt like she was also making herself look stupid. And every stupid thing that she said, Eva was in the corner saying, yup, okay. Co-signing everything that came out of Yavana's mouth. Do I feel like it's a bit shady or sneaky, a little bit suspect that Nene left right before Yavana was going to come and speak? Yes. I feel like Nene did some foul shit with Yavana that Yavana did say. I do feel like with Cynthia specifically, Nene may have told Yavana to go and listen to what Cynthia had to say about her, because she felt like Cynthia was talking so much shit about her on interviews, and she wanted Cynthia to have like proof saying, yo, I catch you talking shit about me, because that was another way of her to get Cynthia's attention, to communicate with her so they can squash shit without Nene feeling like she got to take responsibility for anything that happened between them. That's what I thought that I feel like Nene tried to do. But then Yavana went and escalated it and ran her mouth in the wrong direction because she wanted to be on the show. And Nene and her did not expect things to play out the way that it's played out right now in front of us, because Yavana kept going. Andy asked everybody, who believes Yavana? Kenya, Eva, and Cynthia raised their hand. Candy and Porsha are a little bit iffy because they're half and half. Tanya and Marlo were grilling Yavana like, girl, you ain't make no damn sense, because there's several scenes where you contradicted yourself. Then Candy says that Nene and Yavana are both snakes because Nene suggested it, and if she suggested that, Yavana agreed to it, which I absolutely agree. In that case, that makes y'all both snake gay. You sound dumb, girl. Then Yavana agreed to go along with it, and Candy pointed out, Yavana, you agreed to go along with it. I'm like, Yavana, you're full of shit. And Candy, her point that she made was very accurate. At this point, do we even know what really happened with the snakehead situation? No. I believe part of what Yavana is saying, and I feel like Nene should have been here to air out and take responsibility for her portion. Did she send Yavana in to talk to Cynthia to run her mouth, so she can go Cynthia on to run her mouth so she can go back and tell Nene? Yes. Marlo said that even Nene had called her with Yavana next to her on the phone, and Yavana was saying, hey, I got a recording of Cynthia. And then Porsha pointed out where Yavana went to Cynthia and said, oh no, it wasn't a recording. I just made it seem like it was, but it really wasn't. Then we go flash forward to Nene in the hotel saying that snake is too harsh of a word, but Yavana was the one that gave her the tea. And then now Yavana is sitting in front of us saying, no, I didn't record Cynthia, but that's what Nene sent me to do in the first place, and I agreed because she and I were close and I wanted to have her back. So when Nene it was just dumb. It was just like a spin of stupidity. I didn't get it. Yavana, you sound dumb. And for you to sit up here and try to like deflect by saying, Porsha, I don't think you should be friends with Nene because she wanted me to do the same thing with you. We know that Porsha and Nene weren't friends until close to the end of the season anyway. So if Porsha's talking shit when they're not friends, get over it. I'm so confused. I don't know what Yavana's role was here. I just feel like she just wanted to be on TV because I feel like she's thirsty because she's that bitch from Clark. High school was her shining moment, and after high school she ain't been on TV since then. So now she wants to be on TV and she was willing to do whatever to get on here. Cynthia's saying, you know, I'm believing Yavana's everything that Yavana's saying because Nene's not here. Cynthia, you're being dumb. Nene has the responsibility to take here because I do feel like she sent Yavana to go and get some tea on you. However, Yavana is not innocent in this whole thing. You shouldn't believe her ass because she done been caught in several many lies for her running her mouth about this whole snakehead situation. I don't believe everything that she's saying. It didn't make no sense to me, everything that she's saying. But because it was against Nene, Kenya and Eva were like, yup, I believe it. I don't believe everything that she says. Okay? Then, while this is going on, Nene calls Porsha on the phone instead of using her laptop. What sense does that make? I'm confused. If Nene didn't want to be on the show, right, anymore, she wanted to leave, what was the purpose of you calling Porsha on the phone that we're still filming? Do you want Porsha to tell you what Yavana's saying? Here's what I think Nene did. Nene, in this situation, she left. She wants Yavana to give all her tea and everything that Yavana wants to say. And after this reunion, Nene's going to go on Twitter, Instagram, and even do after show interviews, maybe on TMZ, all these different interviews, and she's going to try to refute everything that Yavana says to cover her ass because Yavana's not going to come back next season. I hope not. I feel like Nene left because she wanted Yavana to empty her clip so she can go ahead and fill it up and basically combat everything that Yavana said to clear her name. That's what I think she did. I think it was a strategic move because she called Porsha to get more information from Porsha about what was going on. That's what that was. And I thought that was very disappointing. And Kenya and Cynthia and Eva couldn't get her off the phone fast enough. Hell, even Andy was like, yo, this is some bullshit. Either you pick up your laptop and join this reunion or take your little entitled ass somewhere else because you're not going to be treated any differently. I've already hounded Kenya because you said nobody holds Kenya to the same standard. I mean, they even asked Cynthia, you know, you don't hold Kenya and Nene to the same standard. And I agree. Cynthia has had many years with Nene and has given Nene many chances for them to keep going back and forth, being friends back and forth. And I think Cynthia at this point is fed up with everything that has transpired between her and Nene. Kenya is a new friend in her life, so she has more patience with Kenya to tolerate some of the bullshit that Kenya has been doing. She hasn't had 10 years of a friendship to be fed up. If Kenya continues to behave the way that she behaves and do all this sneaky ass shit that she's done to Cynthia, at some point, Cynthia's going to be fed up and she's going to drop her ass too. Period. So yes, Cynthia does have a double standard with Nene and Kenya. Is the truth. Then we got Eva apologizing to Marlo for blaming Marlo for Snakegate. And Marlo said, yeah, I would never do some shit like that. I'm a grown-ass woman. Can't nobody tell me to go record somebody and I'm dumb enough to go do it, Yavana. Then they decide to do their finishing statements. Eva and her husband are still besties. Kenya is in love with Brooklyn and always will be. Porsha is still in love with Dennis's one-eyed snake and his money. Cynthia is still thirsty for Mike Hill's tree and she will be riding it all the way till death do her part. And Kenya is enjoying her life. And all of them enjoyed this reunion. This reunion, part 3, I don't know how they had all 3 parts because it didn't make any sense for them to have all 3. By the time the 3rd one came, I didn't think it wasn't necessary, especially because Nene left. The main show was Nene and Kenya. Eva's storyline this whole time was Nene and her pregnancy. That's it. Kenya's storyline was Nene and Kenya and her husband. She had more of a storyline. Cynthia's storyline was Mike and the Snake Egg. Yavana came in because of the snake egg. Tanya came in because of the cookie lady, and they were all attached to someone. Porsha had her dentist drama, and then she had her drama with Nene that she wanted to squash. Marlo has always been an extra in everybody's business with commentary since for a few seasons now. She's kept herself on the show. I don't know why they felt three-part needed to do. I think Bravo just wanted some money. Now, this is the end of the reunion. I don't know what's going to happen next season. I do know that Marriage Boot Camp is coming up, and Phaedra Parks find herself in this new season of Marriage Boot Camp along with Tahiri Jose, Hazel E, and a couple other people, Shonda from Love and Hip Hop. I will be reviewing that show because I think it's going to be lit because Phaedra is there, and they're going to have to talk about what happened between her and Candy. Candy might do a surprise pop-up. Who knows? Anyway, please like, subscribe, and notification bell. Let me know what y'all think about this review. You guys have a good evening.